Hello everybody and welcome back to Holomania hosted by BSM. It is now time to cap off this round of 32 weekend. A lot of exciting matches have been played so far this weekend, but we are going to put a nice little bow on proceedings with our final match of the weekend. It is going to be the Quiche Geniteurs going up against HoloAlpacas to round out this round of 32 weekend. As always, I am your commentator Sparky, and I am not alone today. I am joined by none other than Dynascape. Dyna, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Excited to see what this last match has in store for us for the round of 32. As we see here, Quiche Geniteurs, very SV savvy, second on the qualifiers.
Yeah, absolutely. Let down a little bit by that LN physicality, but thankfully this LN pool is quite a couple tiers easier than what they had to face in the qualifiers, so might be able to make up some ground there and round it out very nicely by those hybrid and rice scores. HoloAlpacas on the other side, definitely don't want to sleep on them either. Very physically capable. The lineup is definitely stronger than their seeding suggests. So might be in for a bit of a battle here to round it out. We haven't seen a tiebreaker yet this weekend. I wonder if this will be the first.
Yeah, hopefully we can get the tiebreaker map played once. However, HoloAlpacas possibly looking to play anything with LNs. That might be their way in to the match.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that being said, we will transition over and see if we have any warm-ups there. It looks like we might be missing somebody on the side of HoloAlpacas. They are online. We're probably gonna go on without two of them here. They are round, but just having some issues connecting. I think HoloAlpacas did opt to not have a warm-up either, so we're probably just gonna see this one, a 2v1 on screen for right now.
And a pretty short one at that. HoloAlpacas might be just ready to go. Both players that are not in the lobby on their side might be practicing SV to have something in store.
Yeah, absolutely. Remains to be seen. You gotta love it when connection issues rear their ugly heads, but this is going to be a bit of a technical warm-up, a bit techier than what might be expected. Maybe Huge W might be a good comparison in the map pool, but definitely a good way to get the fingers warm, get them accustomed to some polyrhythmic structures before diving into the more standard fare of this pool.
And I like the comparison to Huge W and maybe even to Ground Pound as well, because we've seen a lot of teams this round dropping, whether it's 200s or misses, which would decide it for the other team.
Absolutely. On this round in particular, with the maps being as easy and as short as they are, misses and in some cases even 200s could be fatal to the run of the team. It's always nice having one person that can carry a performance, maybe V1SS, everything on command, but you gotta have those supporting performances as well. And it'll be interesting to see which team has the overall consistency to come out on top. As a reminder, this is a best of 7, so first of 4 points will determine the winner. Loser will be dropped down into that lower bracket, so no real massive consequences yet, but you want to try and survive as long as you can in that upper bracket when dealing with tournaments as stacked as this.
A little break from Patriogus, but that's nothing much, just warm up. So
yeah, just what is it? We call those shit misses.
Yeah, just some fart misses, nothing big.
Absolutely. No harm, no foul. Better to do it in the warm-up than during the match, if I do say so myself. Patu's probably
taking a page out of the book and getting all the misses out right now.
Yeah, just getting the curse out before the match begins. And as I said at the top of the warm-up, I believe HoloAlpacas opted not to submit a warm-up, wanting to get into the proceedings as soon as possible. Hopefully their teammates are able to connect in time. We do have a bit of a grace period in these instances. We do know that they are around, so they're not skipping the match. They aren't going to no-show, but we do have a bit of a schedule to keep. This is being the last match. We might offer a bit of leeway, but as we take a look at the map pool, see if the wonderful tournament client will bestow upon us the IRC chat right on time.
And a very middle-of-the-road roll for the zero. HoloAlpacas captain coming in with a 50.
About as mid as you can get. either side of the board, so there's a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, and I've actually just received word that Geniteurs,
Oh
one of the
my
players for
goodness.
HoloAlpacas, isn't going to be playing. And wow,
A 98, very strong from Patiraj. And right now we're waiting to see if Leah is going to be able to connect. If they aren't, we will have to delay just a little bit here to see if they can make it into the match. You do need 2 players online to proceed with the match, so we might have to activate that 10-minute timer.
hopefully they're able to make it. I would be really sad to see the final match of round of 32 come to an end like this.
Yeah, it would be hugely disappointing and anticlimactic, but I mean, sometimes that is the case with connection issues. We can only handle so much and try and ensure the match goes on, so the timer will come out. We will be giving HoloAlpacas a 10-minute timer.
Yep, 10 minutes on the clock, and now begins the part where Sparky and I try to fill the air for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, unless HoloAlpacas wants to forfeit? I'd imagine that the 1v2 would mean that they forfeit the chance to win the match. So maybe opting to give us a bit of a show here.
Yeah, it looks like they'd be down with it too, all of the players.
Alrighty, so as it stands, the HoloAlpacas will forfeit this match and move on to a bit of a show match here. Might have one of the members from the Quiche Geniteurs offer their assistance to make this a true 2v2. Our referee confirming with the 0 to see if they will go through with that loss by default instead of opting to wait that 10-minute timer.
Okay, and with the confirmation of that lose by default for HoloAlpacas, that will finish off the round of 32. Just a little tidbit, there have been no upsets so far this round.
Oh my goodness, so the qualifiers worked as intended. Everybody from the top 16 up winning their match here. So we will transition this to a bit of a show match here, just to give you guys a bit more action to round out this round of 32 weekend. We do have a confirmed time right now at 21 UTC. We will have the round of 16 showcase. So about an hour after this match ends, once everything gets over and done with, should be closer to 20 UTC. So an hour after that, we'll bring the round of 16. It'll be myself and Dinah bringing you the call for that, and we'll reveal who will be participating in that show match once we get a confirmation, and probably just put it in the ping.
And that one should be really fun. Have a lot of stuff planned for that. Can't wait to see how that goes.
Yeah, so right now, since Patiraj did roll that 98, they did win the roll, and they are going to opt to do everything seconds, so it'll be ABBA format, so probably going to be that B side, and let HoloAlpacas protect first.
And do you know who went over to HoloAlpaca side?
Who?
I
thought you were gonna provide me the answer.
No, it looks like
I have been baited.
you two.
Okay. So gonna offer their assistance here to give us a bit of a match. And SV1 is going to be protected. Love to see that.
Interesting that HoloAlpacas actually protected SV1. Little tidbit, but Patiraj and Patu's second on SVs, with Patos getting third best individually on the SV qualies.
Yeah. And I think Patiraj skipped a step here. They decided to ban a map instead of protecting something, but whatever, we roll with it. The man makes his own rules.
The French care not for our laws, I guess.
No, they're banning my map, so Owl is going to be removed from the pool. Zero having not played it. And it looks like Huge W is going to be the ban for the Quiche Geniteurs.
And with Quiche Geniteurs having first pick, I wouldn't be surprised if we see an SV2 right out the gate.
Yeah, I think that might be the best play here just to kick off the show match. Have a little bit of fun. Oh, but they're going to go for the French pick. The French team with the French pick. Zulu President going to be coming out Rice 1.
Bit of a French buff, both Frenchmen being very good in pure accuracy as well, so it makes sense for them to pick this.
Absolutely. So we'll wait for the players to get ready. The Zero, the lone representative for HoloAlpacas, Dark Mewtwo, lending their services. And Entourage informing the Zero of what s'il vous plaît means. Stands for please.
With Dark Mewtwo going over to the other side, you know, I'm not sure who would take this match now. Dark Mewtwo being very, very good.
Oh, it's actually a good point. I mean, how strong Dark Mewtwo is on these Rice picks, and to Zero being a very scary accuracy player, might swing the tides a little bit. It's unfortunate that it had to be in this situation, but we will do our best to bring you guys as good of a match as we can as all the players load into this first map. Still a best of 7, so first to 4 scenario here.
If you haven't seen this map before or haven't heard me commentate over it, main focal point being those rolls around halfway through.
Yeah, a bit of a jump stream oriented map. Gonna have some jump trolls interspersed throughout. Feeling very comfortable for everybody to read through, and some very strong starts across the board. 99.9s. Patiraj the only outlier here. 99.8, not too far behind, but it is going to give a lead to the HoloAlpacas squad.
Yeah, with Patiraj lagging by just a little bit, he's going to have to hope for a 200 or maybe even a drop.
Yeah, and as we transition into the second third of the map, Patu's dropping a little bit from that perch, dropping down to that 99.8 range as well. To Zero and Dark Mewtwo holding very strong. To Zero, highest accuracy in the lobby, 99.98. Definitely making the difference in terms of this lead. Oh, and that roll, everybody manages to get through it relatively unscathed. Patiraj taking quite a bit of damage. As I say that, 99.4, but very fortunately does not drop, but is going to extend the lead for HoloAlpacas here.
And with both players on HoloAlpacas having just over a 99.9, that is very scary to set the tone for the other Rice maps in the pool.
Absolutely. And as we transition into this last 8th of the map, the lead is based on raw accuracy alone. Every player in this lobby holding on to their full combos. But the 300 counts and the 200 counts making the big difference when all is said and done. And HoloAlpaca is going to take the first break point in this match.
Quiche Geniteurs wanting to go for the French buff, but instead receives the French debuff. HoloAlpaca is taking a break point.
So they will go up 1-0. A very impressive 58 300 run from To-Zero. Almost a V1 double S from Dark Mewtwo and almost a V1 double S from Patus. So very consistent across the board. Double-digit perfects from Patiraj, but unfortunately caught those 50s out of the roll.
Yeah, the Zero getting around the 50s for 300s on the map shows that in terms of pure accuracy, he's very near the top for accuracy.
Absolutely. But with that being said, it will be HoloAlpacas pick. Probably going to stick with the Rice here, considering the physicality of the Zero. Making things a little lopsided, and Dark Mewtwo also bears mentioning that quite accurate, and these pools aren't that physically demanding, and it is going to be ground pound coming out for HoloAlpacas to try and go 2-0 up here.
And with ground pound being so speedy, I would not be surprised if I saw a couple more 200s, maybe on the side of Quiche Geniteurs.
Yeah, absolutely. As they try and keep up, you would imagine that if this were the actual match, we would see some substitutions from the Quiche Geniteurs. Maybe Dark Mewtwo would be in to play the Rice picks, and depending on who is more comfortable on the Rice, be swapping out between Patuz and Paturage. But for right now, I would think the advantage would be in favor of the HoloAlpacas.
Definitely. They've showed that both players are extremely scary when it comes to accuracy. And so, Paturage and Patuz maybe have a little bit of work to do.
Absolutely, but it's good practice for them. Get the match nerves out for these later rounds. They will be moving on to that round of 16 in the winner's bracket, regardless of the results here. So, might be a good opportunity to test the waters in terms of what some of their off lineups would look like. Maybe really determine when the pressure is on, who can withstand the style of picks. But as it stands, 2 100% on the board, Patuz and Dark Mewtwo going into the first 100 combo.
I think you're absolutely right about the whole thing with seeing which players are good on what, because with all three of them basically comparing scores at this point, since this is a show match, it's nice to see, I guess, Patuz and Dark Mewtwo being very adept at, I guess, this map pool.
Absolutely. And as we transition into the second quarter of the map, again, some very, very scary accuracies across the board. 99.9's a bound. Dark Mewtwo highest above everybody else by just the tiniest of margins. It is insane how comfortable these players are on this speedier, more jack-oriented pick.
Paturage being the only person in the lobby in that 99.8 range, and it's still, even with that, that is very good, like, for accuracies.
Absolutely. The fact that we're saying that that's the lowest score in this lobby just is a testament to how good all these players are all around. And they do get a look at the scores during this break. They are going to see that everybody's full comboing. They're going to see that crown a little bit to the right here. Might still have an outside shot of taking this point, but it's going to take a lot of effort here. Going to clamp down on those 300 counts, keep them to an absolute minimum as we get into this back half of the map.
And the thing about the back half of this map is that it's a bit more dense in terms of the burst required compared to the first half. So maybe we'll see a couple 200 drops, maybe even a miss on either side.
Yeah, but as it stands, last quarter of the map still to go. I haven't seen any 300 counts. None of the accuracies have taken too much damage. It's really just a rain of 300s coming out from certain players as we transition through these bursts. It's very hard to maintain good ratio, but everybody's doing a wonderful job of it so far. Still, 399.9s on the board, but the lead in terms of accuracy is going to be on the corner of HoloAlpacas. And as we get into this last sliver of map, this map does not have a lot of tricks left up its sleeve, not a lot of very hard bursts left to contend with. It's just raw accuracy, keep the concentration all the way to the end.
And we see here Dark Mewtwo and a Zero both at a 99.96, with both players on Quiche Geniteurs slightly lagging behind just a little bit.
Very strong team
Could that be a
scores.
tie?
That, oh my goodness, 5 judgments away from a tie.
Very close.
That is disgusting. 44 and 39 are two of the highest ratios, and this is, oh my goodness. I wish we had the opportunity to see this in an actual match, because imagine Patuz and Dark Mewtwo having their combined scores going up against the Zero and probably Leah, if they were able to make it, would have been very close.
Definitely. Paturage being, I think, the only non-V1SS, right?
I believe so, and it's just wild. That is still an impressive score, and it is the lowest in the lobby. Just one of those moments when everybody's good. What can I say?
Next pick being the Quiche Geniteurs. I'm not sure what they want to go for.
I would say now would be a good time to get those SVs out of the way. Have a little bit of fun. Shorter maps as well. Hybrid 1, SV 2.
That is true. Patraj and Patuz being both of the SV players on the lineup for Quiche Geniteurs, so it makes sense for them to go for either SV.
Yeah, we had those rare moments where both SVs survived the banning phase, so it'd be nice to get them out here. The players in the lobby were joking about trading players because it is definitely balanced.
And I believe they did swap players. I think we have Dark Mewtwo and Patuz with DeZero and Patraj, actually. Because this is a show match, so they're just freely swapping players at this point.
Yeah, this is not going to be an officially recorded match. The outcome has already been determined. Just having some fun with it, but you definitely want to try and see if you can get one of those like crazy ties. It'd be funny if the show match is the match that has a tie come out.
Yep, no ties so far. However, we did get a same team tie. I believe Adam's team, where both players had the same 300 count on a V1SS.
Yeah, I think there were a couple of cases of team ties between allies here, and Patuz dropped out momentarily. Might be one of the cases where they might have accidentally double hit the escape key.
But he's back, and we're ready to start Hybrid 1 being picked.
Yeah, our shortest hybrid map in this pool. Have seen some pretty monstrous scores on this pick. Part of the course, I mean, this is one of the lighter maps in this pool. Unsurprising that a lot of players might be very familiar with it, considering it is also ranked.
And there's not a lot to miss on here, or even drop 200s. It's pretty much very accuracy based. I haven't seen a lot of teams drop on this map.
And as we say that, Patraj finding a 200 on the little grace note at the end of that section. Going to be climbing back up a little bit, but the lead is going to go over to the Quiche Geniteurs right now. With players at 99.8 range as Patraj makes up the deficit from that earlier drop.
And we see here on this little break that DeZero is standing head and shoulders above both Patuz and Dark Mewtwo right now. So that's a little interesting thought to keep in mind.
Yeah, going to be able to claw back some of that lead as Patraj recovers. Going to get back into that 99.7 range. And overall, the average accuracy is probably pretty close to being tied between both teams. 85 and 89. Patuz climbing back up into that 99.9 range to try and contest the zero as we get into the back half of the map.
And if you're HoloAlpacas right now, you do not want to drop another 200 as we wait for Bancho to load everything. The Quiche Geniteurs are gonna need to trade back that grade that Patraj had at the start.
And right now, as Bancho tries to keep everything together, we are seeing the leaderboard flip back and forth here. Patraj making up that deficit, able to claw back some of the lead. Last quarter of the map to go. Not a lot to drop on, but gotta watch the releases at the end of the holds. Have seen a couple of players drop some 300s there, and don't want that worst case scenario of a 200 swinging things at the very end. Gotta watch the inverse. Lowest inverse in the world. Everybody manages to make it through. Watch the releases at the end. Oh my goodness. 1,700 points the difference. That 1-200 probably swayed things just a little bit. The only triple digit count as well in the 300 column. Gonna give Quiche Geniteurs their first point of the match.
And although Quiche Geniteurs did get that point, DeZero with a very impressive V1SS at 998.
Incredible scores, very consistent so far. And it looks like HoloAlpacas will be making their next pick and immediately going to shotgun out that SV2 pick, Gangamari Doragon.
This is the SV2 pick, and there's not a lot of map in this map. About 1 minute 15, I believe, right? So
1 minute 6.
Not even 1:15. So we'll see if
Oh.
Dark Mewtwo is practiced on this map, because again, Patraj and Patus usually being the SV players, it might just become a showdown against those two.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see cross map battles abound. Players going to be getting ready in just a moment. We're going to get into this fourth map of this best of 7. Dark Mewtwo is going to be sight reading this, so oh boy, everybody strap in.
And I can't blame him, because if you're not the SV player on your team, there's no reason to practice it.
There's
And so coming into this match, he did not expect to be playing SV2 or even SV1 if it's going to be picked later.
absolutely one of those very awkward moments having to be brought in for something that you aren't practiced for. But I mean, to be fair, they'll probably be able to put up a performance. Just gotta watch these teleports. And we see some players taking some damage. The Duro, the one actually able to make it out here relatively unscathed compared to the rest of the Quiche Geniteurs lineup.
Wow, and Patu's actually taking a couple 200s, and I even saw 50 at one point. Dark Mewtwo breaking on that little slow gem on the LN.
And as we get into the back half of the map already, we see that lead extend immediately to the right-hand side. After that drop, there's not a lot of nodes in this map, so misses are absolutely fatal in this regard. There's only one more slow jam section left. See if it catches anybody off guard.
Seems like it's safe for now. Just a little teleport. Patus takes a 200. And with the map ending, it seems like HoloAlpacas is going to take it, with Pataraj and DeZero putting up very good scores, 99.5 for each of them.
Absolutely great team score overall, 1.97, 44, 300s to and 56, 150. Probably just a sloppy release there at the end from Pataraj, and it is going to be match point for HoloAlpacas here. And Patus immediately leaves the lobby to delete the map. I do not blame them.
I don't blame him either.
Got a lot to work with in terms of the SV pool in this tournament. Blame Hyper.
Blame Hyper. Always blame Hyper.
Always blame Hyper.
And I wonder if they're going to switch players at any point again.
Our referee asking if they want to pick the TB.
That'd be nice.
I mean, we could throw all convention out the window. I mean, nobody's played it yet. Can log some scores, make it look like this match went to tiebreaker. Yeah, they could just play the TV. If HoloAlpacas wins, I guess we can just end the match here. It'd be very awkward if the Quiche Geniteurs win this, because we have to probably continue.
It's kind of like in the showcase where you actually bested me in the TB, so I guess if Quiche Geniteurs win the TB, they technically win the whole match.
Absolutely, we'll play by those rules. If the Quiche Geniteurs win this pick, probably win the match.
Yeah, but dude's reiterating what I said. The winner of this map wins the match.
Yep,
so hopefully they can take it.
This is the quintessential pick. The essence of all matches is indeed the tiebreaker. And we are obviously tied here, 3-1.
Simple math, really.
Simple math. Gonna give Quiche Geniteurs the 2 extra points. Make it a little bit more suspenseful.
There we go.
And alrighty, so we're gonna wind down this little bit of a show match to end the round of 32 weekend. A valiant performance by all teams involved this weekend. Remember, if you did lose your match this weekend, you are not out of this tournament. Please do not leave the Discord server prematurely. You do have a match next weekend as well.
And you can find your next match on the bracket, !bracket in the Twitch chat or in the links channel of our Discord.
Yep, and as we get into this first quarter of the map, Patu is going to find the first drop.
Wow, Dark Mewtwo and DeZero very even, while Pataraj takes a miss.
Gonna trade back the lead over to the Quiche Geniteurs.
And to be fair to all players, I don't think they would be practiced on this map either. They seem pretty under practice on the SV2, so I would expect them even less so to be practiced on this tiebreaker.
Yeah, there are a couple sections that can catch you off guard. The burst, catching Patirage there, yet again gonna be dropping into that low 99% mark and extend the lead for our red team here. And again on the bursts in the transition, just unable to get the fingers around on those LNs.
Yeah, Patirage, every time there seems to be a burst, takes a little bit of an act drop.
And Patu is on this bit of a break section before we dive back into the heavier bursts, is going to find a drop as well. So, tale of two different runs. Dark Mewtwo into Zero holding strong, basically tied in accuracy. Patirage and Patu's struggling a little bit here. Might just be a bit of a sight read moment for both of them.
And here we go into the back half of the map. Quiche Geniteurs might snatch victory from HoloAlpacas after being tied 3-1 or 1-3.
Yeah, in inexplicable circumstances.
Yeah.
Somehow bribing the referee to provide them 2 extra points to make it all the way to tiebreaker. As we get into this last third of the map, we see some good recoveries all across the board. Patu's and Patirage well above that 400 combo cap here. Not a lot left to break on, just gotta mind the LN section here.
A couple of 200s coming out from Patu's side. Patirage steadily climbing, might catch up to him, and a break would be huge for HoloAlpacas right now.
Yeah, right now we are seeing those cross-map battles occurring. There's the draw from Patu's on the next burst, back into these LN anchors.
There it is, but will it be enough for HoloAlpacas to take the lead?
Oh, I'm not so sure here. It's usually about 0.4% that you need above your opponent to take advantage of a miss. And right now Patu's has the accuracy advantage over Patirage despite having a couple of extra misses. And as we get into the last quarter of the map, we've seen Zero eke out a slight advantage over Dark Mewtwo in the later ends of the maps. Only 0.02% separating both of them. Very close to being tied on their ends.
And Patu's hitting that combo cap, so any other lead is now stifled.
Yeah, it's going to come down to increasing the accuracy here on the side of HoloAlpacas to try and take this point back. Ooh, and I'm not sure if that was a client miss. There was a bit of a stutter there. Yeah, it was a client miss, so no harm, no foul there on the side of Patirage. Still holding on to about 2,000 combo here, but the map is winding down rather quickly. Bit of a rest section here. Some LNs to deal with, but nothing too obtrusive that should give our players any semblance of trouble. And as the map ends, it will be the Quiche Geniteurs taking the tiebreaker and taking the match. A foregone conclusion, but we thank the players for their time nonetheless. They will move on to the round of 16 in the winner's bracket.
Yep, from the jaws of defeat and accurate to the bracket because of the win by default, Quiche Geniteurs will take this show match.
Absolutely, our only HoloStars representative moving on in the winner's bracket. And as we take a look at that bracket, we do see some very interesting matchups.
Yeah, Quiche Geniteurs' next match is going to be against Holo Gaming Seed 8, whereas Quiche Geniteurs are Seed 9, so that should be a very exciting one.
Absolutely, and as we scroll down, some more very interesting matchups. I can't tell the team names by the abbreviations off the top of my head, but you guys know who you are if you see yourselves there. And again, the aforementioned lower bracket. Remember, if you did lose, it is not the end of the line here, but starting next weekend, the stakes are raised. Anybody that loses their match will be eliminated from Holomania, so please stick around. And I think I said at the top of the broadcast, the round of 16 map pool showcase will be at 21 UTC.
Yep, so in about an hour and a half, we'll see you then. Sparky and I will be commentating, and it should be a really fun time.
Absolutely, don't want to miss it. But until then, we'll see you around.